I swear to God, the more women make the men they're dating or marrying a part of their brand, the more they are self-sabotaging. Because if they don't cheat on you and humiliate you, or even best case scenario, say things that go against your belief system or whatever, because this is how it works, right? Everything this man does now is a reflection of her and her judgment. It's not fair, but that's how it is. And any woman who's been understands patriarchy knows that when you tie yourself to a man, you are giving him so much power if you make him part of your brand. Like, we know things don't go well. Like, the divorces happen, affairs happen, it just doesn't work out. But when you sell your love as a commodity and the thing you're selling is a dude with an ego, men's egos cannot handle this. Most of them cannot. And so either you do a bunch of stuff like make references to his schlong in your songs and how it's a big ol' redwood. Like, stigmatized? Really? So you already got it wrong. It's climatized. That thing is probably not doing much on its own, no matter how big or small it is. If it's a tree or it's a little shrub. Sorry, twig. I guess shrub doesn't make sense. Whatever. I swear to God, this is why people are giving her such a hard time. She is selling us something, and some of us don't like what she's selling us. And we also, I don't care about her. Okay, I literally saw my first video of her, like a music video of hers, for the first time in my life yesterday. Okay, I don't know or care about her, but what I do know and care a lot about is patriarchy and how it destroys women's lives, their careers, their financial security, their reputations, and all of this stuff, right? And it's not that women this successful can't find love, can't have love, but please, God, don't make it a huge part of your brand. Look how well that turned out. Some clown with clown shoes who you had to pay to keep sober, who was more or less a nobody. I'm sorry, he had a career before that, but compared to her, he was nobody. And with her, he started dressing nicer. He got to be a family man, and he got to be a dad, which gives him so much credit. People interviewed him so they could ask him about her, and he hated it. Like, this is the curse of women who are super successful and especially famous, to make their man famous. If he is not as famous as them or more famous than them, and they lend their privilege of fame, or all the power that comes with being famous, all those watch hours, all of that, because this is an attention economy, right? So just being near you makes him more famous, and the more famous he is, the more money he's going to make. And we have seen time and time again. I'm sorry, I know he was a big footballer, okay? Like, I followed a lot of this team's Instagram pages for a lot, Messi and all of them, right? When Messi was playing for them, but he's nothing compared to her. Global pops, she's still selling out every venue. Nobody gives a crap about this guy because he just had a short football career. 2 kids, humiliated her. I mean, the worst example is this one. This dude got a whole career out of being a tough motorcycle man. I think didn't he cheat on her the night she was getting her Oscar, I think? He did her so dirty. He did. God, he's worse than Keith. It doesn't mean that famous women can't date common men or whatever, although it takes a very, very confident, secure, humble man. Because if they're insecure, have a big ego, think that they're not good enough for you, or they think they're better than you, they're going to punish you. Not many men, not many people can handle this level of fame, okay? Not many people on earth could handle this. And then you put someone like this in the spotlight, knowing that she is behind any of his success. That is a disaster waiting to happen. He will punish her. He will take out his insecurities on her, and he did, just like he did. I have done over 100 minutes of a deep dive on all of, and it's not about them. It is about, I talk about this because we can see ourselves in them. The stakes are higher. It's more extreme in their cases, but at the same time, this happens to women all the time. Very successful woman gets with a loser, right? And then she gives so much of her love, her time, her energy, and even makes him more successful in a number of ways, not just career-wise, but his reputation, right? Because men get a lot of social capital for being fathers and husbands, right? They always make more money at work. It's been statistically proven, right? They get all this stuff from dating up, right? And then what happens to her? If he's an insecure man, he will destroy her because she gave him so much. He can't handle it. So while this dude had a career and is famous and everything, nobody outside of the US or maybe Canada, I don't know, y'all watch American football? Nobody gives a crap about American football outside of the US until just recently, because the NFL has been trying to push their stuff overseas. No, you on Super Bowl Sunday, you cannot watch that game in any bar. You have to seek out a bar that like caters to US immigrants or expats or whatever to show no one cares about the Super Bowl. Nobody outside the US. So this guy was a nobody outside of the US until her. And now everyone all over the world knows who this dude is. He is so powerful now because of her. And you know what? That's fine. That's fine. It may have worked out, but I believe we are already seeing signs that she's going to be screwed. I don't know her music. I don't care. But it seems like even Swifties are like, what the hell is this? What is this album? Why are you on tour, flying all over the world, putting an enormous carbon footprint on the world, it's going back and forth to visit your boyfriend while you're on tour, by the way, right? Let's talk about her jet stuff. And if a Swiftie says, yeah, but she's been stalked, oh, shut up. I always derail our climate concerns with that argument. Stop. Flying all over the world. Also recording another album. Like, girl, your work is getting so bad because you don't ever rest. You don't ever stop. You got nothing to say. And then an album finally comes out and you're talking about his big old D and his magic wand. Do you know, even that word, you know, one of my old friends, I remember him explaining it to me. He was like, the male ego is obsessed with the idea that they all have a magic wand. He literally used those words. He's like, we all feel like we all want to feel like we have this magic wand that that is so powerful it can control a woman. Like that it is better than every other man's their wands, and like it's so. He was explaining this to me. I was like, oh my gosh, y'all are so pathetic, really? They have this magic wand, and she writes a whole song about how this magic wand opened up her thighs. And believe me, I'm a big ol' hoe, okay? I love being a hoe. I used to have a lot of schmegs because of, and you know what, delusional influencers have been making a lot of great videos about this, because there's a lot of women, I'm going to say, there's a lot of white women I know who do this. I will speak for us, or for myself as a white woman. I won't speak for us, but who hook up a lot because of our pick-me-ism, because of a lot of how we're socialized and to worship men, and also a lot of like trauma from our male family members sometimes. But anyway, a lot of us are hyper-sexual, but then also grow up in purity culture, and so we like try to be this innocent girl and blah, 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 but really we're just big old hoes. But that is all coming from a place of pick-me-ism and wanting to, like, we're not like having fun a lot of times. I wasn't, at least. I was not. And then in my 40s, then it was all about centering my pleasure, and I had the best time of my life because I was doing it because I wanted to, and it wasn't coming from a place of purity culture or hypersexuality or avoiding trauma or reliving trauma or any of that stuff. I was just like, hell yeah, I love this. This is fun. I don't do walks of shame. I do walks of hell yeah. And a lot of younger women especially are like, white women have this purity culture stuff, which is rooted in anti-blackness. And if you don't know that history, I can talk about it more if you want. And so, you know, how this woman is like 35 and she's like, oh my God. I mean, she's definitely had schmegs before. And she's talking about like how he unlocked this thing, this magic wand. And now she's like, whoa, look at me talking about schmeg at 35. Like, welcome to the club, I guess. And you're going to give all this credit to him? You are going to make a whole song about his manhood? You are embarrassing yourself. So either he talked you into this or you talked yourself into it, but great. You just made yourself look so bad. Not because you're talking about schmegs, but it's the way you're doing it, how you're doing it. This just like, you're bragging about this dude. Your big old all-American football player, you can have all your white babies in your little cul-de-sac or whatever. This man is worth such a small fraction of what she's worth. A man who wanted to be as famous as The Rock, guess what? He's got it now. Why? Because of her. The more she makes her whole brand about him, the more rich and powerful he gets because he's tied to her, the more she is setting herself to be left or humiliated. So his big dream of becoming as famous as The Rock, all of that is because this was a great opportunity for him to be on in her concerts, to be like, this man has, this was a brilliant move, honestly. He was like, I've got a crush on her. I'm going to show up at a concert with a friendship bracelet. And now he's set. It's good for her brand too. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But this is like, I find it very unlikely that she will not get humiliated on some level. Even if it's just her looking more and more like a very malleable person. Or maybe she's I mean, I've heard so many criticisms that are, I learned a lot, okay? This may be who she's always been. But she's been selling this like feminist, like I wrote a whole article for Harper's Bazaar years ago because I didn't know anything about her, and I watched her documentary. I was like, oh, okay. Good for her for like standing up to daddy and getting people to vote. You know what? I think that was all crap. But if it wasn't, now like her reputation as like a feminist, and like now she's becoming a trad wife. Like using a lot of racist dog whistles in her songs, talking about her man's D, and how like talking about, you know, having a cul-de-sac full of his kids. Like, what is wrong with you? And here's the thing, I feel bad. I'm gonna get back to this in a second. I feel bad when I see women who meet someone they love and they're so excited and they just want to share it. Believe me, I understand. But there is a reason why I do not talk about my husband much. The reason being, it is just, I've been here, I've been doing this work, I've been doing comedy, storytelling, writing for like almost 20 years. He has been here for a fraction of that. So I'm not going to change because someone enters my life, right? This is my page. And women ask me to talk about him all the time. I mean, I'll share stuff here and there. Patreon is where I might share more because I like talking about my life. But what I found is like the more public you are and the more you talk about a man, and especially if you feature him in your work, the more all these women are going to be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And they will like have like parasocial relationships with, they will become obsessed with him because they don't know him, and they're like, oh my God. And so the stuff they say, most men cannot handle that kind of like, cannot handle that kind of fandom, right? But even the ones who can. The other thing that happens is women will also start to talk down to you and be like, you don't deserve a man. Like the comments I've seen women say, like, you're so mean, you're so hard on him. When I've just thrown in a story of our life, I'm like, fuck you. So I like, women will either like, they become obsessed. They either convinced that these men are abusive, especially if they come from their own history of abuse, or B, they will become obsessed with them being perfect and you not deserving of them. And like, they'll either want to cheat with those men or just like worship them in this way that is so creepy that you're like, ew, like, you know what? It's weird. And I get why women do it because there's so little hope, right? But so many men exploit that, and so many men, once their face is shown on a woman with a huge platforms, like once these men become a part of their brand, these men almost always leave these women. Because then they're like, oh wow, I am a great guy. Look at me. Look how amazing I am. Look at all these hundreds of thousands of women who think I'm amazing. Why am I with this chick? I could have any woman, you know? So many men who have not been dealing with patriarchal entitlement and all of the misogyny that comes with that, and that like male supremacy, and like they fall victim to this. I don't want to say victim because they're not victims, but they end up doing this. And or the men who have a lot of trauma and a bunch of issues from their past, and they tend to be like avoidant or run away or whatever, and they end up just repeating, like all of their insecurities come out because they have all, like, people think they're amazing and they know they're not that amazing, and so they can't handle it. They're like, wow, all these women, either they believe it or part of them is like they can't handle it, right? So either all the Swifties are either like don't like him or they like love him, you know what I mean? But usually it's not neutral. because they care about her, right? So, women have so much trauma from men. We're going to project so much, either hope onto these men or our own trauma onto them. Meanwhile, these men have millions of followers and all these comments and all these fans. And they didn't have to do anything just by standing next to her. They have huge platforms and are talked about. And what does that look like in dollars? Look at this. His podcast grew 350,000 subscribers on YouTube in 1 month after like rumors that they were dating. 350,000 in 1 month just from the rumors. His appearance at games, his fandom, sales of his jersey up 400% when they started dating. Swift's debut on New Heights in August set a viewership record, Guinness World Book of Record. And she also announced her album on his podcast. Like, can you just have anything that's your own now? Look at this. Look at hers. Hers is 1.6 billion. His is like 70 million. To me, like, do that math. Get out a calculator and do that math and see why this man benefits in every possible way from being with her and why this is a huge risk for her. And it's always going to be a risk. It's always going to be a risk to date a man, live with a man, marry a man, to not marry a man, but like give him all, like, whatever, just to be associated with me. It's a risk. It's a calculated risk. But then when you also have all they get, like, that man takes your audience and like now he gets, like, he has everything to gain and nothing to lose. She has everything to lose and something to gain, right? If she wants babies, great. Now if she wanted to get married, which she clearly did, it's a part of her brand. I'm not saying she doesn't get anything, but she has so much to lose. So for her to just be like, make this man so much a part of her brand is so dumb. For such a great businesswoman, I mean, it's good for business now. But then again, whatever, if he screws her over, she'll make an album and make a fortune off of that. But like, still, God. I mean, there's been reports for a long time, and I've done videos about this, about how his worth is just going after her. Look at this. Now it's at 70 million, but you know, it spiked to 50 million since dating her. And this was, you know, written a while ago. He's gotten more brand deals, endorsements, his social media following. Like I said, this is an attention economy. Having a large following means money. Money. Look at this. Gained 1.3 new followers on Instagram since Taylor appeared at his first game. I will never have this many followers, and I've been doing this for a while. You know, and all he has to do is, like, she shows up at one game, boom. He now has 6.4 million when this was written, but he had 2.8 million before the game. Gained 500,000 more on TikTok. I want to talk about his freaking podcast. Y'all, do you have any idea how hard it is to get a podcast to do well? This him and his brother were talking about football, right? And then they have like other guests on, and then they had Leonardo DiCaprio, y'all. My understanding is this is the first podcast Leo has ever been on, and this is the one he goes on. How do these dudes get this? Taylor. That's it. That's the only reason. This man would not be on their podcast if it hadn't been for her. And definitely not these two together. Even Travis couldn't believe he got him on the show. I remember when I saw this a few weeks ago, I was like, what the hell is he doing on their show? Oh my God. They also had Brad Pitt, which is like, A, how did you get him on your show? It's because everyone knows him because of Taylor. But also, this was a choice. You're going to put this dude on your show? The dude who did all that to his kids and his wife on a plane? Okay, that's a choice. I swear to God, mediocre white men. I mean, great. They're great football players, whatever. But they are new in this industry. And they just, they're set for life. Why? I mean, sure, the fact that he had a dating game show about catching Kelce, catching him, he's a catch. He's the catch. So this dude is so attention hungry. And what better choice than be with one of the most powerful, well-known women with the biggest fan base in the world. Look at all these people who have been on their show. Look at this. Look at this. Almost all of them since he started dating her. Be careful, Taylor. This could happen to you because he's your brand now. Everything to lose, everything to lose. Women that date men have everything to lose because these losers will embarrass you with their drinking and their clown shoes. Everything to lose, everything to lose. Date these losers and you will get humiliated by the losers. Everything to lose, you stupid soccer star, but guess queen. She's doing fine now. Catching Kelce, cause he's such a prize. Catching Kelce, oh my god, what a prize. Guess what? Lose money bags now. Everything to lose, everything to lose. You and your hunter man, well, good luck with those nasty hands. Everything to lose, everything to lose. Even this man, how on earth could you think she should be cleaning toilets? Everything to lose, everything to lose. These men will humiliate you. All they gotta do is act like a psycho, or, hang out with their MAGA friends and their wives. MAGA wives drinking, I'm a party man. Everything to lose, you're with a party man, now we're gonna judge you. Ha ha! My income is way higher, even though I wear stupid hats. And I love my MAGA friend. GQ, you look like you should storm the Capitol. Everything to lose with these. I wanna be a cowboy and hang out in Florida and ride this stupid thing, America, sweetheart. Everything to lose, cowboy, everything to lose. Now she's gonna look stupid if he cheats her. Cowboy Kelce, whatever this is, and what is your religion? I don't know. Everything to lose, boats, everything to lose in Florida with your wizard stick. Now he's gonna be rich and famous. Look at me on a shipping container in my swamp gear. Everything to lose, boats, look at who. Maybe Taylor should ride a boat like a friend. Bam! This man's psycho. Look at him, look how old he is. Everything to lose, these women with lots of money and a career and fame are still with the losers. What is this? What is this? Oh my god, are you going to NASCAR? Look at these hands. Days of thunder. Nasty! Dirty nails. Everything to lose, everything to lose. Sandra with her back tattoo. Jesse James! Boy, I hate you. Now you only had a career because of that woman. Everything to lose. Lose, lose. Don't lose, ladies. Be careful, you got everything to lose. They should make their own career. But bitches are gonna be okay, because we always are.